After his family was killed, Strongest Ninja seeks vengeance. In the rural area of America, Heigen, living under the alias of Joe Logan, is a former ninja. Fleeing his violent past, he and his family face a brutal ambush by assassins from his former clan seeking retribution for his betrayal of their ancient code. Thought to be dead, Joe takes revenge as Ninja Kamui, blending ancient ninja skills with 21st century prowess. Now, he battles trained assassins, combat cyborgs, and rival ninjas in a quest for vengeance against the very clan that shaped him. Now that's kinda like a ninja John Wick. Before we go on, please remember to subscribe to our channel, like this video, comment your thoughts, and keep watching our other videos. Let's get going. The story begins with a man running desperately and cowering in fear. He hits a dead end and his ninja pursuers show up and he says, "How did you know it was me?" Being attacked from all sides, he fights fiercely. However, he gets caught by the leader with weird-looking hair and brutally beheads him. A device shows he's a target and has already been terminated. The scene changes with Joe Logan on a farm, who eats corn and heads home on his truck. While working on his bike as the sun sets, a person appears from his back. Caught by surprise, he shouted, "Who's there?" It appears to be his son, Kyle, wearing an Oni mask. Joe's wife arrives and they chat. In the house, his wife is worried about the news about a brutal murder. She looks scared and asks Joe, "Do you think it could be?" Their son then says it might be the Oni. Joe brings his son to bed, who rebuts he is not sleepy yet, but Joe says it is already past his bedtime and won't be getting a birthday present if he does not behave. Later, the couple continues talking about the news, and Sarah worries about their safety, that it might be the Reapers doing and that they'll be found. Joe tells her it is not the Reapers doing, as it works alone, noting that they're safe and that no one will come for them. We then see Joe's family enjoying their days and living their life peacefully at the farm. A few days later, the news shows the masked killers strike again and kill 3 more people. We see the tension in the air. Kyle's birthday arrives with Joe burning the steak and Sarah boasting she should have handled it. Joe plays his guitar and sings with flashbacks of their happy times, leaving warmth in the air. One night, after hearing noises outside, Joe gets out of bed and tells Sarah to stay put and not worry. He then goes downstairs. Black ninjas jump through the window. Joe fights back and pushes them back. Upon hearing his son scream, he pauses and knocks down a ninja. He hurriedly runs upstairs but gets hit on the neck by needles. He crawls his way up. Reaching the room, he then sees a horrific sight of his bloody wife with their son in her arms. The leader puts his blade through Sarah's neck, saying, "She sure put up a good fight," mocking Joe, who got stabbed by a sword. Hearing the police's siren, the ninjas bail out, making sure that Joe is dead. The police see the gruesome scene. In the morgue, Joe comes back to life. He remembers his wife and son's death and passed out. Now in the hospital, he opens his eyes and nurses call for the doctor. He passed out again. He then awakens and the doctor asks him if he knows what happened to him and that he miraculously came back to life. He asks the doctor about his wife and son. The doctor gave him the grim news. Tears fall from his eyes. Later, 2 detectives approach him and introduce themselves as Mike and Emma. Mike asks questions, but Joe stays silent and clenches his fist. Mike left a calling card. Going out, Mike shares his hunch with Emma, that Joe knows who did this and they will take turns in watching him over. Joe goes to the hospital roof and is followed by Emma. While recalling his dead wife and son in the morgue, the ninjas strike again. After taking a needle out of his arm, he fights back and kills everyone brutally. He uses his shadow skills and kills them all. Emma, seeing the scene, gets knocked out by Joe. He continues killing the remaining ninjas. He stuffs them all in the elevator, and when it opens, utter chaos. All of them are dead. Mike, looking for Emma, sees this. The scene shifts with Joe and the leader meeting again, with the latter saying, "Just wouldn't die, would you?" The fight ensues with Joe overpowering him and eventually stabs him. He continues stabbing him and asks, "How did you know where to find us? How did you know it was me?" The leader replies that Joe can never escape his fate regardless of his disguise. Joe shows his real face and kills the leader. He then visits his family in the morgue and kneels down in agony. Joe goes back to his house and breaks a wall. He takes out a chest with items from his past life. He looks at his family photo, remembering their good times. He burns down the house and wears a half mask. We see a gaze of a predator. The secret of our arts must never leave this clan. Under no circumstances shall they be shared with outsiders. This is being said by the head of a ninja group. But after a terrorist attack, they're forced to share them for the future of Japan. We see Joe, also known as Heigen, is a member of this group. We see Heigen remembering the events of her family's death. and in front of him is the leader Joe killed. Well, I guess Joe didn't kill him. Huygen gets up and instantly falls to the ground. A mysterious man arrives with Huygen wondering. He replies, "I thought we would meet in the afterlife." In the next scene, we see Huygen getting help from his friend Kagari. He asks Huygen why he is not in disguise. Huygen explains that the organization can see through the masking system they've been using. Kagari, who is a doctor, sees his arm and sees that he used the secret art of Stark awareness. The doc tells him not to do it again, but is amazed as he sees Huygen's back wound and says, "You should have been dead from this wound already." Huygen asks Kagari to help him enough so he can move enough to interrogate the guest in the next room. The doc injects a big needle and Huygen passed out. After a while, Huygen wakes up with his supplies and looks at Mike's calling card. Kagari is nowhere to be seen. Huygen goes to the leader and stabs him for hours. He taunts Huygen about how he loved his wife's look when he killed her. For his son was just typical fear, but for her wife, with hatred and anger. Huygen curses him to hell and then burns him alive. Meanwhile, Mike is taken off the case after the hospital attack. He's told he'll lose his job if he keeps investigating. But Mike won't give up, and he keeps looking into the mystery with his partner Emma. They find out that Joe's family isn't real and isn't on any public records, which makes the case even more interesting and complicated. On the other hand, Huygen visits many different places on his bike. He tries hard to find any clue about his enemy. He is left disappointed. One night, while at a bar drinking, two cops arrive and start bullying the bar owner. One of them tries to mess with Huygen. He knocks him out. The other cop tries to hit him from behind, but Huygen sends him flying without even touching him. Wow! About to leave with his bike, he looks at Mike's calling card again. The next day in the police station, Emma is playing with Oza VR while talking to Mike. Mike receives a call from an unknown number. It is Joe. Emma tries to track Huygen's location. Joe asks to meet Mike, saying he has questions. He keeps hanging up and tells Mike he is not joking around. He is not a noob in this. Mike gives him a place to meet, Long Hao Bao, and Joe hangs up with Emma unsuccessful. Mike finally comes to the restaurant, and Huygen reaches there after some time with his face covered. Mike never saw Huygen and only knows Joe. He refuses to tell him anything. Huygen asks Mike if he knows about the serial murders in the city and has leads. Mike tries to arrest him while delivery boys from Eaza Eats are coming in and out. An assassin disguised as a delivery boy attacks Huygen. They fight ferociously. Seeing the enemy has 4 arms, Huygen uses his shadow technique and grows 4 more arms. Boy! Doing the dishes must be easy for him. Back to the fight, another assassin pops up, but Huygen has the upper hand while saving Mike. He uses an array of techniques and finally kills the enemies in a gruesome way. Huygen tells Mike that he is Joe Logan, a ninja, and puts on a digital mask. But before they can talk more, they are attacked with bullets and a rocket launcher. The shop is destroyed, but Mike is okay. Huygen uses the chaos to leave. Mike, wondering about the ninja tools, looks at the Eaza ads. That's our recap for today. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe, like, and enable the notification bell. Keep watching our other videos.